All right, good evening, everyone. I'll use my gavel. Call this meeting to order. It is 5:31. I'm a minute late. The Commission on Inclusion and Innovation, meeting on Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. Again, it's 5:31 here in Council Chambers. We'll start off with roll call. Mr. Tuttle.
Commissioner Kevin Tuttle.
Megan O'Brien McNamara.
Commissioner Tom Kosker.
Commissioner Beck Markowitz.
William Kittle.
All right, thank you very much. Appointments and resignations, we have none. So we're all set there. Next is approval of minutes. You should have all gotten meeting minutes sent to you. We have 4 sets of minutes. We've been busy lately. We have the full meeting on February 28th, 2024. We have meeting minutes from February 21st, Community Conversations Committee. Meeting minutes from February 21st, 2024, Unity Event Committee, and meeting from March 21st, 2024, Community Conversations Committee. That threw me for a loop. There's February 21st and March 21st. Okay. So with that, I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions, comments, edits? Have you had a chance to read them at all?
I'm just going to abstain from this vote because I wasn't at any of the meetings.
You got it. I did notice one typo, sorry. Members absent at the full meeting on the 28th. You have Prem absent and Prem present, but it's Prem present and Aparna absent, I believe, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe that's the case. That was all I had. Any other comments, edits? So I should have done that before the motion. So now I will accept a motion to accept the minutes as amended. Does somebody want to make that motion?
Motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Andy, second.
Seconded.
Excellent. No more discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, minutes accepted. Thank you, friends. Next, report from the commission chair. So not a ton to say today, but a little bit. I think I want to share my excitement with the new commissioners and our newfound energy that we have. Again, just seeing the minutes and seeing the meetings that we've been having, the activity we've been having, I'm very excited, as a chair, as a member of this commission, as a Rock Hill resident, to see some of the stuff that we're doing. And, we'll hear from the members of those committees here in the next few minutes about the work that we're doing. And I'm excited. I'm excited for that. And there's been conversations in town about some of our activities as I talk to residents. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about that. And I've had people reaching out to me in different ways, knowing that I'm on the commission and asking about what we're doing. And it's great. It's great to hear and great to see. So thank you for our new commissioners. Thank you for our existing commissioners who've been at this for a couple years now. And thank you to Dana and Autumn for their support, of course, as always. And I think we're keeping them busy, a little busier than we have been. So that's good in many ways. So that's about all I have for tonight. Any questions for me or comments? All right, we're going to make this quick. Moving right along to subcommittee reports. This is where hopefully we'll get to the meat of what we've been doing. So first we have Community Conversations Committee, and this might be a tag team, but I think take it away.
I'll start with the equity statement. So we actually have a meeting following this meeting this afternoon or this evening to focus distinctly on the equity statement and how we're moving forward. We had a really productive conversation about a timeline and holding ourselves accountable for that timeline for not only initiating but moving through all of the processes to have that equity statement approved through the council and ready well in advance of our planned event in September.
Do you want to share it all a little bit about that timeline, just so we have the public has a sense of that?
Absolutely. So we are looking at, thank you, that's helpful with those notes. I have them backwards. So we're looking at today to the March 27th for the full discussion of the equity statement. We may have subsequent meetings based on how well it goes today and the agreement of the subcommittee to move it forward. May 1st, we are planning to schedule the council chambers for a public meeting so that we can hear from the public on the statement that we've established, so in draft format. And then May 22nd, we're looking to move we'll move that forward with a proposed vote at our commission meeting, and then May 28th, hopefully it's finalized and we're able to submit to the council for their vote at a subsequent meeting in June. These are all flexible dates based on how well we'll progress and, come together on the equity statement.
Awesome, thank you. Questions on the equity statement for Megan at all? I know many of us were there at that meeting, or anything to add to that conversation? Again, I think, just to kind of just fill in a little bit of gaps here, I think the equity statement is something we've been talking about for well over a year now as a commission, and something that came out of public comment from early last year. I think it was spring last year. It came out of public comment, and we've been kind of talking about it and mulling it around and not making too much progress, but I think we're making progress now. I think the timeline is great. I think it's aggressive, but I think it's great. Again, just to reiterate, getting input from the public is going to be key on this. We have a number of stakeholders out in the community who have already been involved with this as far as showing interest in participating. So we will be reaching out to them. And if you're listening and hear us, reach out to us as well, and we'll get you looped in as we draft it, as we, look for public input and public comment, because we want this to truly be a Rocky Hill community inclusion statement. So an equity statement, I should say. So yeah, thank you, Megan, and for taking the lead on it, and for others that were at that meeting. I think that was great, and we're making some good progress on that. Any other comments or questions?
Just one comment.
Please.
So we may have incidents sometime in the future where we'll look for a response from the town or from the commission directly and distinctly. This statement is really meant to be a proactive statement about our belief and our commitment as a town to equity. And in response to any, further concerns, we would make subsequent statements then. So just to differentiate a little bit, it's not in response to anything that's gone on in the past, but it's really a proactive statement about our commitment to equity as a town.
Well said. Thank you. Ms. McKee?
And bravo, number one, bravo for moving this forward. And beyond the public statements that you are inviting yourself, just be aware there may be some additional procedural items that we'll add to it to make sure that for town council's purposes, additional public comment is invited. There may be some added procedure. Just wanted to make sure that we are aware of that. But I am absolutely delighted with how far you've gotten
We'll
already.
keep the caveat in our timeline.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, Dana. And honestly, I think the timeline that we put together is really within our commission, and then our objective is to get a draft of it to town council for their review and approval, right? So ultimately, it's up to town council to approve that. We will do our pre-approval here, but we definitely, will loop in members of the council and the town side to make sure we get those things included. And yeah, because I know there's certain requirements within the town, but yeah, we'll certainly do that. And we're looking at, hopefully, the idea that we had as a group was to have that ready for our fall event. Was the idea is we can have it rolled out for then. So we were just kind of backing up our timeline and saying if we can have it ready for then, giving the town council their time in their meetings to approve that, and they have a busy schedule, so we're trying to line that all up. So thank you for that. And I know there were some other things, community conversations. Do we have other updates, Mr. Kittle?
Yes, we did
Excellent.
also speak about the logistical support needed, actually, for many of our ventures, i.e. the banner and table covering. We'll be talking with our HR team tomorrow at 1500 or 3 o'clock to discuss that further. So we're looking forward to that. And we also spoke of the IT Dropbox. And I was assured by our HR team that the IT department from the town is all over it for all the commissions, actually.
Great.
And we should have an answer on that soon.
Excellent. And that was for a way for us to, as commissioners, share, information, files, resources amongst ourselves as commissioners.
Correct. So
Right. Awesome.
procedurally, we're all in the same place.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Did I miss anything else on that commission? I'll say the Walk a Mile event.
Talk about that in Unity event.
Yeah, well, we talked about it at that meeting, so I'll bring that up now if that's okay. So the Walk a Mile event, again, is set for September 7th, 2024. It'll plan is at Elm Ridge Park. I've started reaching out to reserve that. I have to kind of do that again to reserve that space. We're looking at reserving the pavilion and the field, the baseball field there, where we had it last year. There's a sound system there, et cetera. So we're planning on having it there. 9:30 in the morning, I believe it was. So we started. Beck's got a flyer together. We're talking logistics, and yeah, we'll talk more about it, I guess, in a few minutes because we can. You want to go ahead and
Well, no, we'll do
go
it
some more?
then.
Okay. And I think that was it on community conversations. Anything else? All right. Next up, we have data gathering and analysis. Mr. Tuttle.
So our subcommittee met on Wednesday, March 6th. It was just the two subcommittee members, myself and Aparna, that Wednesday night. We quickly reviewed the current survey status in terms of results. And in terms of record keeping, we're going to come up with a way to start sort of tracking snapshots in time as to where the results stood. We don't expect and haven't seen significant change, since our first push, but I think just to have a record of what it was at a certain date and time is important, so we're going to come up with a mechanism to track that. And then the latter half of the meeting was focused more on forward-looking in 2024 and what, as a subcommittee, we wanted to accomplish. I think we have one goal of sort of, based on lessons learned from the 2023 survey, which was probably, I'll butcher the adage, but trying to eat an elephant in one bite kind of thing. And so, rather than cast that wide of a net in terms of information from the town, we're thinking a more focused, sort of targeted data gathering exercise. We theme-wise would like to focus it on the youth of Rocky Hill in terms of inclusion topics. And so we've done a little brainstorming. We separately, in an informal capacity, met with former town council member Christopher Duff to sort of pick his brain because we've known he's had comments similar to kind of where we were thinking in terms of our brainstorming around what focused that type of data gathering should be. So we got some excellent input from him. So a special thanks to Christopher Duff for taking time and having that conversation with us. Now it's just a matter of the subcommittee getting back together and start really narrowing our focus and fine-tuning exactly what information we're attempting to glean this year out of the youth of Rocky Hill. So that's kind of where we stand.
Awesome, thank you. And I think the survey that we had been running last year is kind of still open, right?
It is.
Is that's a link that we can share if we want to capture more residents still, so we can get that out
Correct.
there? Okay. And
Correct.
I believe it's still on our website. I
Yes.
think so. Okay, thank you, Dana. So if people do want to have input to that survey,
Yep.
excuse me. That's great. Any questions for Mr. Tuttle? Do you have another meeting set yet or no?
I had just sent out some options to Aparna, but have not confirmed yet. No.
Okay. All right, just circulate. Once you guys figure that out, just circulate it to the group.
I will.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And the next one, which got a little bit bigger, than the little kind of conversation went a number of different ways, is a Unity event. Beck.
So basically, I'm sure people might be familiar with our Walk a Mile in our Shoes event that we've had for 2 years, and the third annual one is going to happen in September. And we realized instead of having a separate event, if we help grow on the already existing walk to make it more of a unity event, we're calling it Walk a Mile Unity Event. I think that was Prim's idea to kind of give it bigger range. We're hoping to invite people from the surrounding community, maybe that booths. We're still working on those details, but the idea is to kind of just grow on it year by year with the event to hopefully make it into what we dream it could be. So small steps at first, but bigger as it goes. And with the flyer, I think once we have the place for sure on the date, we'll start distributing it so people can sign up and register to be at the event.
Anyone have anything to add? Thoughts? Megan? Did you?
I would just recap kind of where we left with the Unity event. So I know that in previous years, the Unity event had been something in addition to the Walk a Mile event, and where we landed and discussed at the last commission meeting is that we've had subsequent conversations and really decided that we want to invest our time and resource as a commission with other existing events, partner with community organizations to make the most of their opportunities, connect diverse groups within the town, and really help showcase and elevate those events for the town, knowing that that is what is most important to our people. And then put forward more resource around our Walk a Mile event to expand that over time as well, which is, to Beck's point, that why we're calling that now a Unity event and not just Walk a Mile. So it can have the opportunity to expand not only this year, but in future years.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I know we talked at the meeting about having, cultural presentations or cultural
Inviting cultural
performances,
so
that's right,
perhaps
cultural performances,
drummers or
different
dancers.
ideas. So there's a number of different ideas that we raised, and look forward to hearing from the community if they have ideas and want to be a part of it. Again, a great idea, again, that came out of the committee's work is this idea of us partnering with existing organizations, existing events that are happening. We're looking at putting together a calendar, that we have a calendar of events throughout the year that we are partnering with folks on. Maybe a commission member of one of us would partner and be part of their planning process. Rather than us reinventing the wheel, there's a lot of events that are happening, both religious events, cultural events, all sorts across the town, so that we would partner with them, again, to Megan's point, kind of elevate those. So that's really what we're looking to do on that idea. And again, we are aware of a lot of these already, but if folks have ideas on these that they, would like us to kind of partner with them on, and we haven't done that in the past, this is something a little bit new, right? This is a little bit new for us. So it's a new kind of shift and focus for us, which I'm excited about as well. So any other thoughts or comments on that? All right, so mark your calendar, September 7th, 2024.
Sorry, Tom, one question.
Please.
It seems like kind of the natural next step, and maybe you guys have already tackled this, but is just that next outreach to those organizations and having those conversations. Has that started, and how are we
That's a great, you want to take that, Megan, or
creating that
or
list?
back?
I mean, it's a few different things, I think, like parallel streams, so
Yeah, like
we're
we have to make
creating
the
them.
list of groups.
Yeah, we're creating a flyer, so we have something to share with people that help describe the event, has a visual identity, has a QR code for people to register, and will proactively reach out to the organization. So one of the things that we're doing to proactively reach out to, our community partners is create a list of who they are, and that goes back to the IT Dropbox or other shared document resource. So we have a place to put that document. We can contribute to that and add the community partner information in this document, and then have a mechanism for reaching out to them.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is no, we haven't done it
Yeah,
yet,
so
right?
no,
So
not
the
yet.
short answer is we haven't done it yet,
Yeah, no,
but
but
that's in our
We
steps.
have a lot of plans
Yeah,
to do it.
that's in our steps, right?
Are there, certain subcommittee members that are tasked with that particular?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Megan and
welcome.
a number of
And
us.
should we funnel ideas to?
That's a great
to
point.
Megan in terms of?
That's a great point. You can
organizations
do that.
we think
Yeah.
might
And
I would,
make sense?
yeah, so once we have a place to house the document, I'll create the document, and then all the commission members can contribute to that document, so.
that's what we're looking to do, is have a shared doc that has, here's the community groups we want to connect with, here's the events they have, here's the contact person, right? So we can kind of have that as one working document that we can use. And then we'll start the actual outreach, right? Now it's a couple of us that have some names and ideas and folks and that we've contacted and been in touch with. over the last 2 years. We want to just be a little more formal with that. So that kind of like one thing led to another, and then, Will's like, we need this place to share documents. So, we're getting there.
Are there any events currently that celebrate, people with disabilities and awareness and things like that you're tapped into?
In Rocky Hill specifically, well,
No,
I should
not
say.
necessarily,
Yeah,
just-
I mean, in the area, yeah, there's many that do that, and there's many that are focused on a particular disability, right? So there's, the epilepsy this and the Down
Yeah,
syndrome this,
yeah.
and, and there's some general disability-wide events that are around. Yes, there's plenty of those. And some of them end up in Rocky Hill just because we have the resources and we have the Marriott or whatever, Sheridan now. My bad, right? Sheridan? Sheridan. My bad, Sheridan. It's the Sheridan now, but so, Sheridan, Hartford South. Yes, I know the name. So we do have some events that end up being held here, but they're not held by Rocky Hill necessarily groups, right? But
Yeah.
but yeah, there are those. I appreciate that question, and those we can easily add those to the list. And again, our focus is the Rocky Hill community, right? So our main focus is the Rocky Hill community. So if that's something that we wanted to pursue, we could partner with folks to bring something into our community.
That's right. I think that the list will give us the opportunity to see where we have gaps.
Yeah.
And we can proactively reach out to organizations where we feel it's an underrepresented group
Yes.
for our list.
And we've had groups reaching out to us already in the past, as we know, right, with the Holy events and, Pride events and et cetera, et cetera. There's a number of events in town that we've been, softly connected with.
We
right,
want to make it formal. We have all these soft connections, but if one day one of us left the commission, we might lose some of the connections. So having them all in one place where we all can access it to be able to use by all the commission members in order to make change and to connect with the community members is the goal.
Thank you for the questions, Mr. Tuttle. Anyone else? All right. Where are we? Old business. Okay, we already kind of touched on this. Commission banner. Can you just restate that update real quick for us?
Yes, we
We've been
did.
talking about a banner for like a year, and now Mr. Kittle's here, so
And
we're going to make some.
the purpose of a banner, it's just a basic identification instrument. So when we're in or at an event in the park, we can hang this banner on our table behind us, and the community can know exactly who we are. And with that said, we have a couple of samples of banners, and we are going to have a meeting with HR tomorrow at 1500 or 3 o'clock to discuss pushing this forward. The two main bullet points would be any approval process that we may need to ensure occurs, since we're identifying the town, and funding. So we'll have more information on those things tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions? I appreciate you taking the lead on that, 'cause it's something that's been in the back of my mind for a long time now, and happy to get this thing moving along. So,
Will you send us an email with the details? For us to find out?
Absolutely.
Great.
thank you very much. And with that, moving right along, new business. I have nothing under new business. Is there anything anyone wants to bring up at all? Hearing nothing. Public comment. This portion of the meeting is specifically set aside for comment from the public, who are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. Any person interested in providing public comment but cannot attend the meeting should email their written comment to Commission Inclusion Innovation at rockyhillct.gov. I did not make up the email.
We have a
That
great
was Dana's fault.
You're so bad.
Sir.
All right.
If you bear with me, this might take a little bit more than 3 minutes, but it's at the end of the meeting, so.
That's fine.
Do you have?
Thank you.
That was old
This
business.
is so fun. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo, we finally get some color.
I want to make sure I had enough.
Good.
All right, so my name is Alan Smith, 112 Old Main Street in Rocky Hill here. I sent this over to the commission's email address, as well as to the chair. So you can basically read it, but this is so you can follow along as well. I'm going to paraphrase, but in a nutshell, I want to make a proposal, and I'm here to ask for the commission's support of it. At the end of this, I'm open to comments, questions, whatever, but what I would hope is that this is something that you guys would get behind and also potentially pass a resolution around and or create a little bit more of like a working group associated with it. But so I'll give you a little bit of a nutshell. This is something that I think meets a number of town objectives from different commissions, different committees. Everything has talked about it. And my proposal is that we transform one of the crosswalks near our town hall into a pride flag, essentially. This would serve as a first step towards public art in Rocky Hill. We don't really have anything. And it would also create some excitement around our downtown area, which is something that we're trying to do, our town hall area. And also show everybody as a permanent statement that Rocky Hill is open and inclusive and diverse and welcoming. So this is not reinventing the wheel. This is not a brand new idea. There are a ton of towns in Connecticut that have done this. The inspiration really for this is our close neighbor Middletown that has a 80-foot flag on Main Street. This was done 4 years ago, has had zero safety issues. They contracted with a local artist. They use non-slip and non-reflective paint, and they did so with a modest budget. I believe this one is paid for by the town, but that's not something that I'm specifically asking for. I have a photo of it in here that I took 2 days ago. That's what it looks like right now. One thing you'll notice is it is painted over what looks like bricks. I'll reference that in a little bit. So I think the best location for this is right here on Old Main Street. I also have a photo of where that is. That would be right across from the Historical Society. Option 2 would be on Church Street, right there as well. Now, so I've reached out on this to a number of people, including the town manager, the mayor, and the town engineer. Town engineer and the town manager are a little bit hesitant with these kind of faux bricks because there was like special paint involved. But, and there was some grant funding and things like that associated with it. It was paid for out of grant funding from the state or something. But that is actually the same material that Middletown painted over. And there's no evidence that it's going to cause any damage or anything like that. In fact, it actually might make it last a little bit longer because it's painted over. Now, there are some limitations. We can't do anything, or we wouldn't be able to do anything on a state road, so Silas Dean, Glastonbury Ave, kind of out of the question, because it would just be too many hurdles to jump through. The reason I was leaning towards these is because they're prominent. You have to go over that to get to Town Hall. It shows that this is something that the town is supporting, maybe not just this neighborhood or a particular neighborhood that it's in, but it's right next to Town Hall, it's next to the police station, it's next to the senior center, the historical society, the library, the fire department. Now, the other advantage to this is there's a safety component. So those crosswalks are not at an intersection, and they have additional signage. They have the little sign in the middle of the road. They also have signs with arrows saying that there's a crosswalk here, and there's plenty of visibility for pedestrians, so they don't have to worry about necessarily cars turning and stuff like that. So just to circle back, this would address priorities from you guys. First of all, wanting to have some sort of visible display of diversity and unity in Rocky Hill. You guys have talked about that before. I wasn't able to find the exact meeting in the minutes. I wasn't able to track that down, but I know you have talked about it before. Sustainable Rocky Hill Task Force wants to promote more walkability and diversity, and this would actually get points towards our silver status for their sustainable CT status. And the Plan of Conservation and Development had recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission to create a more visible town center. And this just creates more visibility and buzz around our town center. And so that also just helps with, economic motives as well, too. So I think, but setting all that stuff aside, I really think that this would be a powerful statement to identify Rocky Hill as a welcoming community. It's a way for us to visibly do something to speak against some of the groups that have been visible in town recently. Intolerant white supremacist group, whatever. They are in the area. This is something that we can say, hey, this is what we stand for, not that. And now, just so like cost logistics things, it's not as much for you guys to worry about that as much, but the cost is minimal. I've talked to muralists that have done this. I found out what Middletown paid for theirs. It was minimal, and theirs is 80 feet long. Ours is probably 40 feet. Took them 2 days to paint it. Probably only take us one. And I think that there are groups that we could get funding for that through, as well as Sustainable CT has crowdfunding matching funds and things like that. So even if it was something like the community wanted to pay for, we could get matching funds to do it. And I think that if we act on this without dragging our feet, we could get this done as soon as this coming Pride Month, which I've spoken to the UCC Congregational Church right here informally just to see if this is something they could back up. And they said that this is the 15-year anniversary of them being an open and affirming church, and they are all about, touting, talking about that. This year specifically, they're having additional stuff, so it aligns perfectly with them with Pride Month, which is June. So what we need is we need ultimately get a sign off from Public Works, which I've talked to the town engineer, and he's actually called a couple other towns and got feedback on what they've done to paint roads. He said, seems like a pretty straightforward process. We need sign off from Public Safety, which presumably all these other towns, police and everybody has said it's good and safe. As I said, Middletown's had 4 years of this with no issues. I think we should get feedback from local LGBTQ plus members, community, some other community organizations regarding the design, any other concerns. We should try to make an effort to have the artist actually, be somebody from the queer community or something like that. Make an effort with that. And then, so just what I would ask is that you guys would support a motion to move forward with this as something that you guys support. And hopefully, I don't want to put any more on your plate. You got a lot of working groups and stuff already. But don't worry, because I've got a number of people who have already said that they're all in favor of this and would love to work on it and get it over the finish line and work towards that. So I'm not even saying that anybody on this commission needs to help, just to be able to have a little bit of the authority to say, hey, we're with this working group on behalf of the town, and this is what we're looking to do, so we can get it paid for and we can get it over the finish line. So I put some article examples in here of other towns that have done this and what it looks like and all that. There's certainly many choices that you can do. And if anybody has any questions, comments, I know this is public comment. You're not necessarily supposed to have a back and forth, but I spent a lot of time trying to chase down every rabbit hole, everything that any naysayer could possibly say, and I got an answer for all of them. So more than happy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith.
I do have just one question. Because I know it says that you're proposing like pride colors. Are you proposing just a rainbow, or are you proposing specifically doing the pride flag with the triangle for the Black and Brown community in trans?
Yeah, it could. I mean, what they did in Middletown was the one by, I forget his first name, Quasar,
Yeah.
which is the Progress flag, I believe. Pride Progress. I think it has a specific name. I mean, I think that's a group. That's what that's what I would say. But as the most inclusive, that also talks about people of color. It's not just a simple rainbow. I think we've moved beyond just a simple rainbow. But that's a town conversation. That's a conversation to have with other groups. Maybe there's another flag out there that is more inclusive that I don't even know about.
Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you for the thorough steps that you've taken to really vet this across the many different people and coming to us with that perspective. My one question is just about selecting the crosswalk. Would there be a reason that you'd want to just only choose one in our community center and not, we have lots of crosswalks in the area. As you
So the way I look at it is this is just the first step. Mm-hmm. So selecting one, and here's the other thing. If the town engineer or the town manager wants to draw a line in the sand and say we can't paint the thermoplastic bricks, then we can paint it right next to it. Or we can pick a different location that's still prominent. However, what's happened in other towns, I'll just use Middletown as an example because I spoke with the attorney, one of the attorneys for the town who spearheaded this project. So any concerns people have about legal aspect of it, like an attorney was the one that kind of championed this in Middletown. What happened with them is they did one, and then they had other community groups that said, you know what, we want something too. So now they have a veterans one as well, painted by the same artist, went through the same process, got approval by the town. Now they have multiple. And so I would think in a perfect world, we've got a few of them. We've got a lot of communities in town that can be represented. And what a better way to have all of our town center, representing, different groups with public art. I would think ongoing, the actual physical painting of the crosswalk can become an event in itself. It does have to be repainted every couple years. And, maybe you have a muralist, professional kind of set it up first. And then after that, the repainting becomes a community event type of thing. But that, so the point being, this is the initial first step. And, you got to dip your toes in the water, walk before you can run, don't eat the elephant, whatever analogy you want to use. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. In the grand scheme, I think it would be great to have the whole area, but this is the first step of getting a little bit more, activity and excitement around this area, and also showing the type of community that we are.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
All right. That was a wonderful public comments, so thank you.
3 minutes.
It was not 3 minutes. It was more like 13, actually. So, but you did get some questions. With that, I will accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Have a second?
Second.
Mr. Tuttle, all in favor?